Hello, you radiant soul. I am Dr. Kate Armstrong, consciousness architect, and you can call me Kiki. And I'm messaging you on my old channel, The Self Mastery Project. And I know that the right women will feel this call, will hear this call, will naturally stumble across it. And if you're new to my channel and you found me, welcome. I no longer use this channel. I now operate under my name, Dr. Kate Armstrong, and I would dearly love for you to come over there and subscribe there. It's a brand new channel. I will be talking about all things consciousness, how to architect your reality. If you are tired and frustrated of manifesting not working out, of having some serendipity luck with vision boards and a lack of clarity around what you want or how to get it, or you have some luck in some areas and not in others, I am the answer to all of your prayers. You're welcome. So I empower women to return to conscious alignment, to live epic and extraordinary lives in every single domain using my rinse and repeat formula, the Self Mastery Project. I got really fed up of people telling me to just be delusional or to think outside the box or just change my mindset or change my vibration. I was deep in trauma. I had left London where I'd lived for 30 years. I used to be a dean and a head of college of various different UK institutions and universities. And I was burnt out. Was deep in trauma, betrayal from my 22-year marriage, and was having a spiritual awakening. And I had burnt out my central nervous system by having a high-powered job, 6 figures. I'd been a young academic PhD in human transformation and spiritual ideologies. And I was 44 at the time. It was 2019. And the more money I seemed to earn, the more unhealthy I got. And I sat at my dining table in London and I said, why can't I have an epic, extraordinary life in every single category? Why does it have to be either or? Why does it have to be a trade-off? Why do I have to sacrifice? Why do I have to compromise? I want to live an epic, extraordinary life in every category. And I was like, well, what are the categories? I thought back to my PhD some 20 odd years earlier, and where I'd explored mindset, mind, body, spirit, and the female consumption of alternative medicine. And really I'd looked at spirituality and health. So mind, body, spirit and health. And I thought, well, those are important. Then there's emotions, then there's energy, then there is your wealth, your health, your love, your full lived experience of life. And I took a deeper dive and I started to ask myself some questions. And that later became the Self Mastery Project. And those questions became conscious self-inquiry, and that became then contemplation, which actually came about a little bit by accident. And it's about cogitating, like reflecting intellectually on things. It's contemplating when you're reviewing and thinking about things, and it's also going deep into the quantum. And so from there, the seeds of self-mastery began to flourish. I took myself out, I went for a walk, I used to get back into my Kundalini yoga, I immersed myself in the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and slowly and surely I came back online. And then this quite miraculous thing happened on autumn equinox or fall equinox in 2019. I was waking up, I was married, my child was downstairs with my then husband, we'd been together since I was 21, and I heard this voice. It was not my own. It was a booming, maybe quite male, but very neutral voice. And it said, check his phone. It was a command. Changed my life. This isn't a story of victim. This is the story of empowerment. This is the story of how the woman turned absolute devastation and trauma into the curriculum. It's the story of the woman who became the consciously aligned woman more and more and more. And from that seed, I moved away from London. I decoupled from my husband. I am now divorced, but I reframed that as a joy-vorce. I'm totally happy for him. We raised our child together. This isn't a story of victimhood. It's a story of triumphant reconfiguration and utter transformation in every category of life. And if I can do it, you can do it too. I've shed 40 pounds of weight. I've moved location. I reprioritized my whole life to ensure that I have money in the bank. I'm abundant in love, in self-love, in sexual love, in platonic and familial love. I'm wealthy, I'm healthy, my life keeps leveling up and up only. I live a viscerally amazing experience of life, but it wasn't always like that. On the back of those three words came absolute trauma and devastation. The trauma is the curriculum, yes, but we can't spiritually bypass the human experience. I had to feel it, and if you're listening to this, then you've experienced trauma too. But trauma doesn't have to be the end of us. If we do stay in that trauma loop, we become resentful, we become bitter, we become poor me. If not, we go the other side, we become the villain. Well, this happened to me and that happened to me, and all that sort of thing. And neither of which spectrum are healthy. What the Self Mastery Project does, and my work does for women, is it teaches you the very system to get out of the trauma, to get out of those looped thoughts. Have you ever tried to change and you've had some success? And I'm 49 at time of speaking in years, but energy is endless and abundant. And I found I would, at this age, your strengths are amplified, but so are your weaknesses. And so if you found this message, you're looking for alternative answers. You kind of know bits of the universal law. You know that there's a vibrational law and there's a law of attraction, and you try it and you have some serendipity luck. But here's the thing, you are what I call architecting your reality all the time. The majority of it is you're just doing it subconsciously. What this work allows you to do, and the system that I've created, is to excavate, a bit like, you're digging up a house or digging up a garden, and you are digging up your subconscious beliefs, your programs, your stories, and we bring them out and we look at them. And then the second phase is to align. And this is like, some people would talk about manifesting. I call it aligning because it's much more of a system. Success leaves clues. Manifesting sounds a bit like I manifested this man, I manifested this holiday, I manifested this job. Like it happens over there only when you think about it. But as I say, you are architecting your reality all the time. This work allows you to do it in every single category on purpose all the time. And then we recode neurologically and neuroscientifically your brain, your energy, your frequency, so that you can bring in the reality that you desire. But just like building a house or doing a renovation or learning a language or a dance or driving a car, any new skill, it takes time. So I invite you into my world and you come in and I show you the architecture. Excavate, align, recode, excavate, align, recode. It becomes a beat because you're already doing it. You're already thinking about the thing that got in the way, but it could be so buried you don't even notice what you notice. Or it's at the top of your mind. You just had the weekend. You're thinking about the summer solstice. You're reflecting on how you want to change. But there's this silent voice inside that's blocking you, or a limitation that you don't even know. You can't hear it. You don't know it's a limitation. And so then we align. And so many women I meet have settled, they've eroded, they've settled for mediocrity, they've dimmed their light, they've said yes when they mean no. And so my work exists to help us dream again, to help us expand, to practice our imagination. That's the fun part. Yes, there'll be vision boards, but that's not the point. The point is getting utter clarity and coherence on what you want, and not just the man or the woman or the money or the house or the job or the travel or the car, anything, all of it. And this is overwhelming. If I said, hey, come on in, we're going to look at your love life, your self-esteem, your self-concept, how you how you love your family and how you turn up as a family member. We're going to look at your cosmic love. We're going to look at your experience of life, your fun, your enjoyment, the environment of your home, your wealth. And not just your wealth, it's how you receive it and how you hold it and how you generate and then how you spend it. We're going to take a deep dive into your health, your vitality, your voltage, your physicality, your embodiment, your emotional regulation, your mindset, your energy, your spirituality. Can you keep up? And then we're going to look at all the old stories and we're going to bring in all the new ones and we're going to recode so you can bring it into your reality. It's that like, it's too much. So I invite you in, and in the Self Mastery Project, we go through the scaffolding, we go through the architecture, we learn the language, and we start in a nice doorway. Each of these domains of life are a doorway into your own contemplation or cogitation or contemplation or reflection. Like, have you truly spent time reflecting on your full lived experience of life? And so I invite you in, and then I exchange through these things called alchemical lessons, my perspective on each of these domains. And I call them alchemical lessons because as a result of them, you are changed alchemically in your body. It's not that I have all the answers. It's that I made a declaration that once I saw that this work worked for me, that I would spend the rest of my life dedicated to humans, women that want to come in and learn the system with me. It's for the critical thinker. It's the woman who can't just be delulu, because I've met delusional people who just literally lie and think that they can up level. That doesn't work like that. It doesn't work for us. It's about holding the duality of humanity and understanding that we can be joyful and fearful at the same time. We can be in faith and fear and joy and lack and abundance and lack and poverty and richness all at once all the time, and that's the confusion. And we create this kind of frequency that goes out to the universe, and the universe listens, and she is very neutral and she gives you what you want. So she'll give you lack and abundance. She'll give you joy and unhappiness. She'll give you romance and depletion. She'll give you everything all at once everywhere. And you'll call it the life and you'll say, well, nothing works out for me. But there's another way. And so it's more like a de-learning. It's like a remembering. It's stuff that you already know. It's truth that you already know. You might have heard snippets of it elsewhere, because here's the truth. I am sharing with you universal law and spiritual truth, and it's fundamentally law. It can't be changed. This is my interpretation of it for you. I love this African philosophy called Ubuntu. I am because you are. We are all interconnected. Everything in our life is a mirror. If you are being triggered, what in you seeks to be healed? This work is really deep. It's quite confronting. It's a bit overwhelming at the beginning, but I'm right there to hold your hand. And I offer this channel free. Come and follow me at Dr. Kate Armstrong, where I have these kind of conversations, these aligned truth drops. I'm so passionate about this. I could talk about it forever. And so I'm sitting here in my little 1977 vintage caravan that used to be a play den for my daughter, and it was gold and black and covered in tiger print. She's now 13 and a half, and so that gives me a bit more freedom. I'm utterly dedicated to her being my youngest student of this work. I'm utterly dedicated to this path for me to continue leveling up and up always as the consciously aligned woman, and I'm completely dedicated for taking you on the journey with me. And if you feel that invitation and you feel the call and you feel like you want to hear more from me, head on over to the Dr. Kate Armstrong channel. And if you already, I'm going to post this there as well, so if you're already here on the Dr. Kate Armstrong channel, thank you. Follow, subscribe and all the things. And I have promised myself I will post every day for at least 90 days and then see what happens after that. I've got much to say. I am on Instagram, Dr. Kate Armstrong, but it cuts me off too short of three minutes. So it's not really the best place for me, but I'm going to use snippets from here to build over there. I'm so delighted to meet you. I've given you a little snippet as to who I am and what I'm about. I'm not going to edit myself too much. I feel that if we do that, then we lose the momentum. But all that to say, you are here on purpose with a mission that only you are uniquely qualified to deliver, and work like the Self-Mastery Project and becoming the consciously aligned woman gives you the space to contemplate in ways that maybe you haven't before, or ways in which I invite you to go deeper with a really clear architecture and system, so that you don't feel overwhelmed, so that you go through the doorway of each domain, learn the architecture, and then you don't have to do it in order. You can, excavate, you can align, and you can recode. Recode is where it's a bit like an affirmation, but it's far more powerful because it's the potent combination of excavating, aligning and recoding. So recoding is a truth statement. So for example, you could say something around money and miracles happen easily and effortlessly for me every day. Or my favorite one is everything is working out for me. So when I'm faced with something that's traumatic and I can't quite see the value of it or the purpose of it, I know that to be true. Everything is always working out for me. Leveling up and up only. And I've got so many more that I want to share with you. And I speak really fast. You can slow me down, I'm sure. Slow me down, speed me up, whatever you want to do. I'm just really happy you're here. I'm delighted to meet you. One of the tactics that I use to stay as the consciously aligned woman, and it's never going to end. That's why I call it the Self-Mastery Project, because you are the project. It never ends, but you have to start, you have to begin. And once you learn the architecture, you learn the language, then you can collapse it all and you'll be doing it unconsciously and consciously and all the things. And so I invite you in to a free training that I'm offering on Tuesday 23rd. And if you're finding this message later on in life, then you can, I'll leave the link live and you can always find it or message me and I will gift it to you. The practice of audit and aligning is the way that I stay in momentum. A year is a long time. Half a year is a long time. And we need to stay in momentum with this practice of becoming the consciously aligned woman. So one of the tactics or practices that I do is called audit and align. I do it daily, but one of the most powerful, potent systems I created is audit and align every 90 days. So those of you that have owned a business or worked in a business will often have a review roughly every quarter of a year or 90 days. And this is no different. The difference here is that I anchor in the equinoxes and the solstices, and it adds more potent power. So we've just had summer solstice, and the doorway to this energy is most profound 3 days before and after. So at time of speaking, it's Monday the 22nd. I've just returned from the most epic, extraordinary event. I took myself off down to Cornwall. I now live in Norfolk. So for those of you who don't know England, I'm not very geographically astute. So if England's like this, Norfolk is kind of which way you're facing. It's up here on the right, and Cornwall's right down here. It's about 900 miles round trip, just to give you an idea. I don't know what that is in kilometres. And I drive an electric vehicle, a Mustang, and so it was quite wild and free. And I was just so grateful for ChatGPT helping me know where the EV stops were. I'm so grateful for the women that organised the event that I was travelling to. It was a high frequency mastermind. And then I decided to use that time to take myself on a tour of the sacred sites. So where I live in Norfolk, I'm next to a ley line called the St Michael St Mary ley line that goes through Stonehenge and Glastonbury and Avebury, and it anchors in at the other end of Cornwall. So I took myself off, I took off my shoes, and after this amazing event, I took my journal, I anchored in the energy of the solstice, and I live along the practice of audit and align. So I went around the sites and I returned home yesterday, and I want to share with you the exact system that I use. So come along to Audit and Align. You can find the link on my bio at Dr. Kate Armstrong on Instagram, or my website. Come and find me there. The links are there, drdrkatearmstrong.com, or you'll find me or follow the link under here that I will put in, and you can come along. Join the Audit and Align. You'll have access to the replay. Join my world. It's my gift to you. You get a window into how I teach and share. It's free. It's normally $88. And I will share with you the practice where we look back over the last 90 days and we look forward to the next 90, and we anchor in so it keeps up our momentum. It's long enough to make us accountable, but not so long that we lose any kind of momentum or so on. So this was just a hello. Come and find me if you're not already here at Dr. Kate Armstrong on YouTube. I'm so glad to get to know you, and I look forward to sharing more aligned truth drops with you. And thank you for being here, you radiant soul. You are here on purpose with a mission that only you are uniquely qualified to deliver, and I hope it is. My work can help you uncover that and your brilliance and your radiance, and I look forward to sharing with you. Bye.